It's here! Minecraft has just released the most stunning graphics update ever. This changes every aspect of your game and makes it look incredible. However, it's nowhere near perfect, with features accidentally being removed, the weather being entirely missing, and even colors being washed out and changed to entirely different ones because of new biome fog and lighting. Let's do a deep dive into this graphics update and whether claims of it not being ready are really correct in today's video. Immediately, everything feels more alive when you have vibrant visuals on. I mean, look at the water here. You can actually see through it. It's not some big opaque mess. I can see that there is a salmon swimming along near the surface there, or near the bottom of the ocean, as well as a tiny one over there. But then as we approach land, you can see that the trees are actually reflected, and it all starts to just feel a little bit more like a living, breathing world. And one of the other crazy changes is that when you go and interact with a new biome, you'll see that it's not just block changes and weather changes that actually mean a biome has changed now. There is an entire change to the palette of your game, which makes it feel like you're in a very different place. I've seen people jokingly refer to this as Minecraft Mexico Edition, and you know what? Totally get that. But everything here just is a little bit more, if you'll forgive me using the word, vibrant. And obviously the biome tints aren't just exclusive to the desert, because personally, one of my favorite changes comes from the mushroom biome. Oh, it started to rain. What a beautiful coincidence. As you can see, the mushroom biome is a wild place to be, especially while it's raining, actually. You can see that I can see literally nowhere. And, you know, I was going to show you more of the strengths. I was going to talk about how the end has this beautiful new tint to it. But actually, I think Minecraft is here to cut us off and remind us that there are many weaknesses as well. One of the biggest ones that people seem to be talking about is weather. And actually, the reason people don't like the weather is the opposite of what we're seeing right here. I'm in a mushroom biome where apparently you don't get to see anything around, but actually weather does not correctly work in vibrant visuals, and I'm going to go ahead and controversially put this in the positive side of this video. Right now, weather and vibrant visuals actually don't correctly mix. What's meant to happen is when it rains or when it thunders, your render distance is meant to go down drastically, and it's meant to look very, very sad. You're not meant to be able to see the sky anymore, but unless you're in a mushroom biome where I think I've just found a bug, because as you can see, as we get closer to even this very tiny land, the fog does correctly apply. We get purple clouds instead, but oh, it's a thunderstorm. Very, very cool. But what's crazy, what a wild coincidence that just while recording this video, that would happen. But as you can see, even though it's a thunderstorm right now, I can still see the sky. This is something that has caused huge controversy. I think it was Cubfan and Eclipse on Twitter be like, this is one of the worst parts of the update. This is a sign vibrant visuals is unfinished. But personally, I look at this, and even though it's something that is going to be fixed, I see something beautiful. Am I alone in this internet? But I think that seeing rain and seeing the sun at the same time is not just realistic. I've seen this in real life and it's my favorite weather condition, but it looks beautiful right here in Minecraft. Look at the way the water physics are working and look at the way it all comes together. It's amazing if you ask me. How is there anyone saying that it isn't? I really don't understand. But it's not the only negative that people have seen with vibrant visuals. So let's hop into creative and show you one of the most egregious examples of this, and it has to be the removal of biome coloring, which is something which has existed in water since the update Aquatic. So to show you this very easily, here is a beach biome, which is meant to have very clear water, and here is a swamp biome, which is meant to have very murky water, and right now, instead of having different colors of the two waters, instead they look exactly the same, with the only difference actually coming from the biome tint itself. Like I mentioned with Minecraft Mexico Edition, there's Minecraft Shrek Edition, but despite it meant to look like Shrek's swamp over here, instead we can see directly to the bottom of these waters, which is a bit strange, right? If this is meant to be murky swamp water, why is it exactly like any other? I could make an argument that this is a realism change, but it is still the removal of a feature in the name of a graphics update. And another change would be that happens when you get in the water here. There are all sorts of strange lighting artifacts the game just isn't quite sure how to deal with once you get into a body of water. So one of the biggest examples would be the fact that while I'm in here, you can see that my render distance isn't great, but I can see all sorts of these weird white patches. And what are those white patches? It actually gets quite confusing because they are reflections of the tree above. That is very, very strange, and maybe that's how the real world works, but I would expect these to be dark patches because these are the parts of the water where there's something blocking the light from getting in this case leaves, but for some reason, they're actually the brightest part of the water. Very, very strange. Even stranger is the fact that you can see all sorts of shadows and reflections of things that are very far away that just it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think it's very, very strange on the surface, and it's even strange when you get deeper into it. But perhaps the weirdest thing is the color shifting. This is a post from Reddit where someone says that their yellow concrete looks mightily orange, and it's something I wasn't able to perfectly replicate in my own world. As you can see, this is yellow concrete right here. It still looks pretty darn yellow, especially compared to orange concrete, but you can see from this example, and I think especially if we look at this and then we wait for the sun to be in just the wrong position, this is what yellow should look like over here, and when the sun's on it, you can see just how much brighter it really gets. This is yellow, this is the really, really bright yellow, and now basically every block has different colors based on where the sun is facing relative to it that you can't actually match with in-game lighting. If I try to add a torch on top of this because I really want to match this beautiful yellow, I can't do that very well. It's going to look exactly how it's going to look. If I try to make this super, super bright, it's never going to be as bright as the sun, and this is a downside for a game which has for so long treated natural light as basically an end-all be-all. Minecraft's sun is so much brighter than everything else, and it means that some colors have gone a little bit shifted as a result. I've seen complaints not just about yellow things going orange, but about oak going from a more brown color to a more orange one too. Everything is a much warmer color, which is good when it comes to screenshots, but is it perfect for actually playing? Well, that is the debate, isn't it? Oh, look at this down here. Super, super spooky. Also, look at this. You can see from down here, the way that colors change seems somewhat natural on the surface, but gets really unnatural the deeper we go into this. And the biggest example would be a cave. Oh no, there we go, that's strange. Oh, I see. I was just actually, I was about to say, oh, I guess I was wrong about this one. This was something that was fixed. And then you saw literally just there, out of nowhere, some random light just appeared and then disappeared in this cave. This is not glow lichens, which do exist and are extra useful right now compared to ever before, but you can see that in general, cave lighting doesn't work perfectly. I mean, just the way that lighting comes into these is very strange. The sun is currently sunsetting, or maybe sun rising, I don't know which, but still there is this huge amount of sun, which makes everything very strange in here, and yeah, it means that if you have a brightness level which is appropriate for the outside, you'll probably struggle to see inside, even with with a good number of torches, which is something that I think they've done a good job of balancing, but which still isn't quite perfect. I think that Minecraft is a game which takes place in multiple dimensions and multiple different settings, and this is not the perfect example of that. Oh, also, one of the things that I find to be wildly confusing is the fact that flowing water is next to invisible. Right here, there is flowing water, and until you're literally standing on or in it, you basically can't see that it's there. This is something that I find to be maybe a related symptom of the fact that there's no biome tinting, but water should be a little bit bluer. I know that in real life, and indeed, it looks beautiful in the overworld to see that water isn't blue, because that's not what water does, but it does create some very confusing side effects in caves. Also, when you're in water, apparently everything... You see this weird blue... What is that? That's another strange bug right there. So, lots of negatives, it has to be said. Oh yeah, what have we found right now? But one of the very biggest ones is the fact that if you are to put on any resource pack, any single texture pack that you can find, then you'll find that something very interesting will happen, which is that every single one of these will disable your vibrant visuals. This is the world I was just in. This is my vibrant visuals background, becoming the non-vibrant visuals one, because that is just the reality of life right now. There is zero support amongst any texture pack or any add-on for vibrant visuals. And yeah, I personally, I'm a believer in the idea that I'd rather have my visuals be beautiful than have my character look like this. It's just odd and unnatural, but still, actions and stuff is something that is wildly popular. Literally hundreds of thousands of people think that this is so good it is worth paying $12 for, and so I think that as a result, not being able to access it is something that millions of people are going to find disappointing, because you obviously pay for these add-ons under the idea that you're going to use them, but right now you have to choose between those resource packs, those add-ons, and indeed Vibrant Visuals itself. And this then presents an interesting issue on if we're going to have a kind of end conclusion to this, it presents an interesting issue which isn't actually Mojang's fault, but it's the fact that support is really bad here amongst third parties, something they could have done a better job at, giving the creators of these texture packs time to fix, but something which they ultimately did not do. And this is where I think the conclusion for this video is important, because right now now we have some beautiful visuals. I mean, it doesn't look beautiful right now, but let's just turn off that add-on. By the way, I keep calling actions and stuff an add-on. It is a resource pack. It just adds a bunch of visual things that are, I guess, useful that way. If you're curious, add-ons should work fine. This is actually my first time finding out. Can you use Toycat's Toolkit and Vibrant Visuals? The answer should be yes, but there are new blocks, and so in theory... Oh no, here we are. Things work great. So even though this is interesting because texture packs do not work because, again, the creator has to add support for all sorts of different blocks, but even though this Nscribe block has no changes made to allow it to support different lighting conditions, so even if it's sunrise, time, set, sunrise, even if it's sunrise, you're not going to see any super fancy reflections, but it still works just fine. I think that this is the attitude Mojang should have for texture packs, but again, maybe they're hoping that rather than doing it early and doing it wrong, they're going to wait for a while and get it right. And yeah, do you think that this is the right solution? I guess that's up to you. I mean, doesn't this still look beautiful? It's a block that has no details added by us because we're literally... Vibrant Visuals didn't exist. We weren't allowed to add them. But still, it is something that I think is very, very stunning and brings us nicely into the conclusion for this video, which is the fact that I think Vibrant Visuals is getting a lot of flack for the wrong reasons. Sure, it is, you know, like a kind of a V0.5 product, and a lot of people are expecting it to be fully finished now that it's here, but in the newest beta and preview, you can see that it's foggy and moody and my render distance is cut down, and why do people want this again? But as you can see, that is something they have done, and this is what is happening. The next update is going to immediately fix some of the issues in Vibrant Visuals. Hopefully, it also fixes some of the color blurring issues. Hopefully, it also takes aim at the oceans and makes them better places to be and to look at. And hopefully, they also fix many of the other weird issues with biome tints and artifacting. I mean, literally right here, why can I see that? It's just a bit of a strange bug. There are so many of these in the game which need to be fixed. And so you might say, if they know these need to be fixed and they're releasing a Vibrant Visuals 1.1 so soon, then why is it that they even released this right now? It seems as though they could have just delayed Vibrant Visuals and had it be better now, and I think there's two reasons they didn't. The first of which is that Minecraft kind of appreciates that they get the most feedback when they officially release something. Vibrant Visuals has been in the beta pipeline for literally 3 years now, and although there's been some feedback, they're going to get far more now that it's in the retail build for Switch users, iOS users. Literally hundreds of millions of people are going to play with this, and they're going to say, I don't like this, which is great news for Mojang. Iteration is the name of the game, and ultimately, it's also the way that they've done things for a while, not just for Bedrock features, but also for Minecraft as a whole. Take the Pale Garden, for example. This released in December of last year, but it only really got fixed in March of this year. I think Chase the Skies has Vibrant Visuals, but it also has the Happy Ghast, which is good now, but will be better once they actually implement solutions to the biggest problems people have. I think that many Minecraft features are better by being developed kind of in tandem with the public, and even though snapshots and betas are meant to be for that, the truth is that I think they get much more feedback and a much better sense of the true Minecraft player base when they release it to the public, and this is a very strange thing to say, but it is the way that Minecraft seems to work. And so, what can you look forward to in the future? Well, Vibrant Visuals 1.1 coming in 1.21.100, and yeah, I also think, by the way, that they could have just, you might say, like, well, if they're going to be releasing that 1.1 update, if they're going to be fixing it, why didn't they just, like, assume the feedback or put it behind a toggle, and then officially release it later? And I think the big answer to that is, like, don't you want to have Minecraft features now? I think many people would be disappointed if they delayed this whole thing 3 months just over some minor issues with rain, just over some minor issues with fog or biome tinting and stuff like that. Vibrant Visuals still is 98% playable, and I think that when we focus on the 2% that isn't, we should remember that it's the 2% that isn't, and delaying the entire update 3 months wouldn't actually be for most people's interests. I think that the longer term issues still remain. With regards to putting it on Java, that's still an interesting problem. And yeah, for now, if you are a Java player, you can be happy that the Bedrock version is beta testing how new visuals for Minecraft should and can look. And if you're not a Java player, then you can look forward to the other long-term initiatives. Like I said, Vibrant Visuals has been in the pipeline for years, just like the PlayStation 5 native copy and presumably right now the Switch 2 native copy. What else is Minecraft Minecraft working on that we'll see come into fruition soon? These are interesting questions that I think lead us into, speculation about the next drop and 1.22 and all that. But we'll resist talking about that for today, and instead I'll say thank you very much for watching this video. I recorded this during what is literally a heat wave in London. I know people make fun of our temperatures worldwide, but it's 35 degrees inside, and that's not fun. It's terrible. And so if I just said something dumb or said something dumb in this video, I apologize. That is why. Hopefully it'll be fixed tomorrow. I'm working on mitigating the heat. But yeah, I just got back, and it's wonderful to be back. Although I just wish it was less hot. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you are less hot than you were before, because I'll see you next time. Goodbye.